at you and it's easy to see you are that someone.
Hey guys, so good afternoon, welcome back to my magical world. I am Frostbite and we are going to continue reading. So happy May 1st, 2023. Currently it's 5:12 in the afternoon and I am not at the house. I'm not at home. So I'm outside near the beach. I mean other houses from here, close here. So something like that guys. So we're going to proceed reading because wait lang. Although we have a lot of like distractions on the external environment, we have to continue reading because that's what we do here guys. So you know the drill. Later I'm gonna update. I know there's no update right now because I am doing a lot of things. Okay, so let's just read for now. We are on page 33 to 34 of the book Flow, The Anatomy of Consciousness. So we're trying to finish it. I hope you could hear me kasi ang ingay talaga guys. Ang ingay. There's nothing I can do about it. Sa bahay naman there's a lot of dogs, so bear with it. So each person allocates his or her limited attention either by focusing it intentionally like a beam of energy as do E and R in the previous examples, or by diffusing it in desultory random movements. The shape and content of life depend on how attention has been used. Entirely different realities will emerge depending on how it is invested. The names we use to describe personality traits such as extrovert, high achiever, or paranoid refer to the specific patterns people have used to structure their attention. At the same party, the extrovert will seek out and enjoy interactions with others. The high achiever will look for useful business contracts, and the paranoid will be on guard for signs of danger he must avoid. Attention can be invested in innumerable ways that can make life either rich or miserable. So I hope you are doing well guys kasi it's not easy like reading this like every day in different locations. So the flexibility of attentional structures is even more obvious when they are compared across cultures or occupational classes. Eskimo hunters are trained to discriminate between dozens of types of snow and are always aware of the direction and speed of the wind. Traditional Melanesian sailors can be taken. Someone is calling, so there's like an interruption. Okay, so we're going to continue. Traditional Melanesian sailors can be taken blindfolded to any point of the ocean within a radius of several hundred miles from their island home, and if allowed to float for a few minutes in the sea, are able to recognize the spot by the feel of the currents on their bodies. A musician structures her attention so as to focus on nuances of sound that ordinary people are not aware of. A stockbroker focuses on tiny changes in the market that others do not register. A good clinical diagnostician has an uncanny eye for symptoms because they have trained their attention to process signals that otherwise would pass unnoticed. So my hair guys, that is not a filter, that is my actual hair, so I turned it to mahogany red. Something like that guys. No, not me, it's my auntie. So because attention determines what will or will not appear in consciousness, and because it is also required to make any other mental event such as remembering, thinking, feeling, and making decision happen there, it is useful to think of it as a psychic energy. Attention is like energy, and that without it no work can be done, and in doing work it is dissipated. You have to practice like this guys, like in a chaotic environment you have to really do your focus. It's not easy. Look at me now. So stressful. There's animals everywhere, so wait lang ang ingay talaga. We try our best guys. Okay, so focus. We create ourselves by how we invest this energy. Memories, thoughts, and feelings are all shaped by how we used it. And it is an energy under our control to do with as we please. Hence, attention is our most important tool in the task of improving the quality of experience. So there's the subtitle here. The title is Enter the Self. Okay. So, but what do those first person pronouns refer to in the lines above? those we's and hours that are supposed to control attention. Where is the I, the entity that decides what to do with the psychic energy generated? So, saglit. So, by the nervous system, where does the captain of the ship, the master of the soul, reside? Wait lang, just gonna check. So, correct. So, as soon as we consider these questions, for even a short while, we realize that the I or the self, as we shall refer to it from now on, is also one of the contents of consciousness. It is one that never strays very far from the focus of attention. Of course, my own self exists solely in my own consciousness, and that of others who know me wait lang guys ha. I'm losing my breath. So of course, my own self exists solely in my own consciousness. In that of others who know me, there will be versions of it, most of them probably unrecognizable likenesses of the original myself as I see me. The self is no ordinary piece of information. However, in fact, it contains everything else that has passed through consciousness. All the memories, actions, desires, pleasures, and pains are included in it. And more than anything else, the self represents the hierarchy of goals. Ang kulit nung tumatawag. Wait lang guys ha, wait lang. The hierarchy of goals. I am interrupted. So wait lang ha. The hierarchy of goals that we have built up bit by bit over the years. The self of the political activist may become indistinguishable from his ideology. The self of the banker may become wrapped up in his investments. Of course, ordinarily, we do not think of ourselves in this way at any given time. We are usually aware of only a tiny part of it, and when we become conscious of how we look, of what impression we are making, or of what we really would like to do if we could. So we most often associate ourselves with our body, through sometimes we extend its boundaries to identify it with a car, house, or family. Yet however much we are aware of it, the self is in many ways the most important element of consciousness. For it represents symbolically all of the consciousness, other contents, as well as the pattern of their interrelations. So if it's hard for you to understand these things, you really have to try your best, guys, okay? This is like the mundane thing, the boring thing, but stick with this. There are lessons that you need to learn from this one, okay? So the patient reader who has followed the argument so far might detect at this point a faint trace of circularity. If attention or psychic energy is directed by the self, and if the self is the sum of the contents of consciousness and the structure of its goals, and if the contents of consciousness and the goals are the result of different ways of investing attention, then we have a system that is going round and round with no clear causes or effects. At one point, we are saying that the self directs attention, or at another, and the attention determines the self. In fact, both these statements are true. Consciousness is not a strictly linear system, but one in which circular causality obtains. So, attention shapes the self and is in turn shaped by it. An example of this type causality is the experience of Sam Browning, one of the adolescents we have followed in our longitudinal research studies. Sam went to Bermuda for a Christmas holiday with his father when he was 15. At the time, he had no idea of what he wanted to do with his life. His self was relatively unformed, without an identity of its own. So, we all wait lang guys ha. Okay, so we're done na guys ha. So, like, ang kulit-kulit kasi ang lipat, like, I'm changing locations. I'm trying to find, like, peaceful locations, but today it's not really peaceful. The sound of the waves is so loud. I'm gonna see you again tomorrow, guys, ha? So, bear with this, moving, I am moving everywhere. So, thank you guys for listening, and thank you for helping me make this world a better place for all of us and for the future generation. I hope you could clearly hear me. If not, it's okay. Look for my other contents. Okay, so stick with me, guys. So thank you guys again. So I will see you again tomorrow. Happy May, and may you all have like a prosperous and peaceful, loving,
What I've been
gentle
trying to meet.
month ahead.
I got your number, won't you pick up the phone?